No Supreme Court nominee has ever been accused of sexual assault before this past month. To be specific, Brett Kavanaugh has had 3 different women come forward with accusations of sexual assault against him within this past month, relating to actions both in high school and in college. Ladies especially, and gentlemen, please listen to what I have to say. My name is Daniel Calva, and I am an Eagle Scout, and I have done extensive research into these events due to an interest that I have in politics. Now, before we throw out any opinions as to whether or not to support Kavanaugh's nomination, we should first look at what we know, what's been given to us by the media. And to start with, we're going to look at what the first woman to come forward with accusations against Kavanaugh said. This is Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, and she attended high school at around the same time as Brett Kavanaugh. On September 14th, the New Yorker magazine, which was the first to publish any information about these accusations, described, in a sense, what happened without mentioning her name. 2 days later, however, in an interview with the Washington Post, Dr. Ford officially gave out her name and described in detail what happened to her in her experience with Brett Kavanaugh. She described how, at a house party one time, Brett attempted to remove her clothes, grope her, and pin her down onto a bed, while at the same time covering her mouth so that she could not scream during the ordeal. In a testimony she gave 2 weeks after first detailing these events, she said she was 100% certain that Brett Kavanaugh was the one who did these things to her. This is what Dr. Christine Blasey Ford said. Now let's look at what the second woman had to say. The second woman was a classmate at Yale with Judge Kavanaugh, and her name was Deborah Ramirez. At a college party, she detailed how one time Brett Kavanaugh drunkenly exposed himself to her and attempted to push his genitalia into her face without her consent. Now, Brett Kavanaugh's roommate also backed up this story, saying that he would not put it past Deborah Ramirez if she was telling the truth, as there were multiple instances during college in which Kavanaugh's roommate saw Judge Kavanaugh drink excessive amounts of alcohol. This is all the info that we know on Deborah Ramirez. Now, there's still one more person who came forward with accusations against Brett Kavanaugh. This person was also a Yale classmate with Kavanaugh, and her name was Julie Swetnick. While she never had any direct encounters with Kavanaugh, there were many instances where they went to house parties together, in which she saw Brett Kavanaugh and multiple other male perpetrators force women into drinking excessive amounts of alcohol to the point of inebriation. Once these women were inebriated, she described how these groups of men, which is sometimes included Brett Kavanaugh, would take them into different rooms so that they could have their way with these women. Now, Julie Swetnick claims that she told 2 other people before officially coming forward with her accusations. This is what we know so far about what Julie Swetnick has said. Now, let's do a quick recap of what we know so far. 1. Dr. Ford claims that Kavanaugh pinned her down onto a bed, attempted to grope her and remove her clothes, and cover her mouth so that she couldn't scream. 2. Deborah Ramirez claims that Brett Kavanaugh drunkenly exposed herself and pressed genitalia onto her face, again, without her consent. 3. Julie Swetnick claims that Brett Kavanaugh, along with many other male individuals, forced women into drinking excessive amounts of alcohol such that they could be used by these groups of men. Now, I believe that with the information that we have so far, we can all come to our own conclusions about whether or not to support Judge Kavanaugh's nomination. And whatever you choose, I respect that. But I believe that we should at least take some time to really make sure we understand what we've discussed here today. We should really make sure we take time to reflect on these events that have happened within the past month. Thank you.